Hey everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm very excited for this video. I've decided to start a new series where I will share my favorite blushes with different finishes. So this month I wanted to do a video about glowy blushes. Now depending on your view, anything with mica, could be considered a glowy blush. I personally don't think so. I think some blushes have so little mica that to me they are satin. So I'm going to try and cover blushes that have a little bit more mica in them, ones that are especially glowy. Although, I don't know. That's all very up to interpretation. Also, one little caveat. Even though I have a large blush collection, I have not tried every blush. In fact, there are a lot of very popular blushes that I haven't tried. There's just so many. So if I'm covering a particular style of blush that I don't mention your favorite, make sure and leave it down in the comments so that other people can see your recommendation. And I like the recommendations too, so I appreciate those. I have a lot of blushes here in front of me. I'm gonna try each one on for you. We should probably get started. So starting with drugstore blushes, we have to mention the NYX Buttermelt blush. There are different levels of glowiness across this range. This particular shade is called Feeling Butta, and they do call this one of their shimmering blushes. These are very pigmented. You do not need very much. Just tap in there one time. But I think that the mica level in these is honestly very tasteful. It makes it very spreadable. Ooh, I just love this color. So if you look at it, it doesn't look glittery or anything, does it? It just has a nice natural looking glow, which in my mind is really a sweet spot for blush. Now this one from NYX is a regular pressed powder blush, whereas this next one from Almay is a baked blush. I have mentioned this blush on my channel so many times. I'm going to keep mentioning it as long as Almay keeps making it. I'm going to keep bringing it up because I think this is a luxury product in a drugstore packaging. So this particular shade is called Nearly Nude. This is called the Healthy Hue blush. This is another one that has beautiful glow, but no chunks of glitter. In fact, and none of the blushes that I picked for this video have any chunky glitter. This is another example of one that has a beautiful, kind of natural looking skin-like glow. It's a good opportunity too to look at the differences between these shades. They're pretty similar, aren't they? I love them. Next drugstore glowy blush I want to mention is the classic Covergirl powder blush. Now I have the shade Soft Mink and it is quite glowy. You can kind of even see it in the pan that it's got some glow. Now this is the only shade I've tried from this range. I don't know if they are all glowy. If you have tried other colors, please let us all know down in the comments. But this is one of those too where the color isn't super deep. So, you start building up the color and then you end up with a quite glowy cheek. I feel like this one you can see the glow even more than the last two that I showed you. So this is one you do not need a highlighter. Well, I mean, we never need a highlighter, right? But sometimes the glowy blush is enough. Oh my goodness, seriously, this is so pretty. This is a beautiful everyday blush. If you can tolerate the scent, this has the classic Covergirl scent. It's actually quite perfumey to me, but ooh. All right, another drugstore one. This one from Essence. You guys know I was going to mention these, right? These are so pretty. This is another range where each blush has different amounts of glitter or mica in them. I did a whole video featuring these if you want to see each individual shade. But when we're talking about just a nice glowy blush, I decided to show you this shade. This is the shade Cool Coral, shade number 7. And I love the finish on this one. I need to stop saying that. All of these have beautiful glow. But you can, again, this is another one where you can see it a little bit more, but it's still not metallic. So we have Covergirl, Soft Mink, Essence, Cool Coral. Next up, we have the Milani baked blushes. Again, I did a whole video on different shades in this range. They all have different amounts of glitter. I wanted to show you the shade number 8. This is the shade Corallina. This is a shade I don't get to feature very often. It's so good. But these have beautiful glow. And this shade is so summery. I'm definitely gonna be featuring this one when I do a summer blush video. Wow, I might have picked up a little bit much. Let's blend it. But ooh. All right, I went a little bit heavy-handed, but you can see the color and you can see that pretty glow. Stepping away now from the drugstore, let's do an indie brand, but this is one you can get at Ulta. So this is so beautiful. This is from Nabla. This is one of their skin glazing blushes. You can get the same formula in a highlighter. So that should tell you this is gonna be very glowy, but this is the shade Truth. This is probably one of the most glowy blushes in the video. You can tell right away. It has a lot of glow, but at the same time, it is not metallic. I do think that if you really built this up, it could become, you know, very intense, but look at that. Milani, Corallina, Nabla, Truth. Next up, let's talk about these powder blushes from RMS. So these are stunning. I think out of all the blushes, this is one of the nicest formulas. It's really hard for me to say because I love all of these. But this is the shade Maiden's blush. Oh my goodness. And see that glow. It looks just so healthy and so pretty. Next we have a blush from M Cosmetics. So this is called the Heaven's Glow blush. So I have a few different blushes from this range. Technically they're all glowy, but I think that this shade, Venetian Rose, is the glowiest of the three shades that I have. The other ones to me pull a little bit more satin. But Venetian Rose, whew, every time I put it on I can't get over how glidey and how blendy and so beautiful. And the glow is just stunning if you like a rosy blush. So we have RMS, Maiden's blush, and I was pretty heavy-handed. Oh boy. And M Cosmetics, Venetian Rose. Okay, so technically this one is not a blush. This is a highlighter from Bobbi Brown. Look at that shade. So even though it looks really, really pink, since it is a highlighter formulation, it actually is not that pigmented. So if you're looking for more glow with not a whole lot of color, this is the way to go. I picked up a lot. Oh well, let's just go for it. Yeah, you can see how this is very glowy, but oh, there's something about that that is special. But you know, it is very glowy. You have to want a glowy cheek to do this one, but holy moly. Next up, let's talk about one from Pat McGrath. Again, the whole range has different finishes. This one is the shade Nymphette, and this is a very pretty glowy pink. Just a little bit of that is just honestly lovely. Let's build up the color a little bit though, but even just a little bit, you can see how glowy it is. Bobbi Brown, Sunset Glow, Pat McGrath, Nymphette. Lastly, let's talk about a couple of creams. So this is from Kjaer Weis, another blush I've talked about so much. Honestly, I talk about all these blushes. But this is the shade Inner Glow. It is an extremely interesting shade. It's like a taupe that both contours and blushes and bronzes at the same time. You see how kind of perfect that was? But you can see it's also quite glowy. But this is one of those formulas that is so natural looking. I don't think someone would think I was wearing a glowy blush. They would think that I had just, you know, youthful skin. I'm gonna add a little bit more and see. Yeah, that's just the nice thing about creams. They just melt into the skin and they don't really look, it doesn't really look like there's a layer there. Oh my goodness. Honestly, the glow on this one, it could have gone in like the satin video I'm gonna do eventually, but I don't know. We've got it in this one. And the last one I have to share is a liquid blush from Tarte. So this is the Maneater Blush and Glow. This is another one I wasn't sure if it would count as a satin blush or a glowy blush, but there's technically a satin version of this blush, and this is the glowy version. Which you can see. As far as mica particles go, I think these are probably the two least glowy blushes in the video, but oh, they're both stunners. So those are the glowy blushes I wanted to share. If you have a favorite one that I didn't mention, please let us know down in the comments. And if you have a glowy blush recommendation that you really think is missing from my collection, make sure and let me know as well. Thank you so much for joining me with another little geek out session about blush. I always appreciate you hanging out with me, and thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. This is usually where I share my tea of the day, but I was so overheated. I don't know why, I was just running around doing things and got really hot. I made myself a very, very milky iced coffee. I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye.